What's your response to those who say the U.S. is in Iraq for oil?
I say that it's possible, but it makes no economic sense to me. It is actually cheaper to buy the oil, which people have to sell because it's not something you hoard. It is cheaper to buy it than to spend the money for war. I mean, it's very expensive what we are doing. I mean, we could actually pay double the current price and still be better off. It doesn't make economic sense to me. What does appear clear is that going way back, this business of we are protecting the oil hasn't been true, although that rhetoric has been used. The policy has not been to protect the oil, but to control it so it cannot be given to people they don't want to give it to. And the problem now is, who are those people? Who is it that we don't want to give it to? I mean, anyone who wants to pay for it can buy it anyways. And I can tell you stories when the Iranian oil was not supposed to be sold, and actually it was being sold in Kuwait, okay, and in Dubai particularly. They were actually businessmen in Dubai. From Dubai were actually selling Iranian oil when nobody was supposed to sell it. So you cannot really keep a commodity in control when there is a demand for it. So I think if that is the policy or the purpose, it's a pretty foolish one. But from an economic point of view, it makes no sense.
When did Iraq nationalize its oil? Under the Ba'ath Party?
Well, the nationalization gradually started. Iran had done first, and then no one was doing it. And then the next major nationalization actually started in Saudi Arabia. But they did it gradually. Saudis being gradualist, which is what I think is the better thing to do. And they started gradually doing it, and then the others followed. I think a more interesting question that hasn't been asked is, how did the oil price, how did they start going up? And the facts behind that, which are not a story anymore because they have been documented, is that the US wanted Iran to be the big Gulf power. And the Shah said, what do you mean? To Kissinger. And Kissinger says, you have to buy more weapons. And Shah said, I don't have any money. He says, well, so you guys should give it to me. And he says, the Congress would never approve because of the Israeli lobby. Buy them. He says, with what? He says, you have oil. Increase the price. And the reason we know this as a fact, because the Shah's people would come to the OPEC meetings and pushing for increasing the price of oil. And the Saudis came to the White House and said, look, we want to keep the prices down, and these guys are pushing for the prices up. They are your friends. Ask them to stop doing it. This is how it started.
Aren't the Saudis doing the same thing now? Didn't they just purchase $30 billion worth of weapons?
But they did purchase them. No one asked them to purchase them. I mean, remember that the US is the largest weapon supplier in the world, but that's not new. Right? During the Second World War, we were selling weapons to both sides until the Japanese hit us, and we had to get in. I mean, it's business. In the Middle East, there is a huge weapon supplier to the world.